Headlines. The courtroom was silent. Not the kind of silence that comes from order, but the kind that sits heavy on people's shoulders, the kind that hums with judgment, whispers, and hidden doubt. Cameras lined the back wall, journalists tapped their pens against notepads, and the man at the center of it all, Senator John Neely Kennedy, sat calm, still, and strangely unshaken. He was being sued for emotional damage. The plaintiff, a powerful corporate lobbyist named David Langford, claimed that Kennedy's fiery words during a Senate hearing had publicly humiliated and emotionally traumatized him. It was a lawsuit so bizarre, so absurd on its face, that it almost sounded like satire, except there was nothing funny about it. The stakes were high. The implications were dangerous. If Kennedy lost, it would set a precedent that speaking truth to power could be punished. And Kennedy knew that was exactly what they wanted. It all began 6 months earlier, during a Senate hearing on pharmaceutical price gouging. Kennedy, known for his down-to-earth wit and sharp moral clarity, had confronted Langford, the CEO of a drug company accused of inflating prices on life-saving medications. Kennedy didn't shout. He didn't insult. He just looked the man in the eye and said, "Sir, when a mother has to choose between feeding her child or buying her husband's insulin, that's not business, it's cruelty. You can dress it up in a suit, but it's still cruelty." The clip went viral overnight. Millions shared it, praising Kennedy for saying what everyone else was too afraid to. Langford's reputation crumbled. His company's stock dropped. Protesters gathered outside his mansion with signs that read, "Kennedy was right." And so, in a desperate move to reclaim control, Langford sued. He claimed Kennedy's comments caused him emotional distress, humiliation, and psychological harm. His lawyers called it defamation. They said Kennedy's words were reckless and damaging. But Kennedy refused to apologize. As the trial began, the media called it the case that could silence Congress. Every word Kennedy spoke was dissected. Every gesture was broadcasted. His advisors begged him to settle quietly, to issue a half-hearted apology and move on. But Kennedy, in that slow Louisiana drawl of his, just shook his head. "Son," he told his aide, "when the truth starts costing people comfort, that's when you know it's working. I didn't come to Washington to make the rich comfortable. I came to make them accountable." The courtroom sessions dragged on for weeks. Langford's lawyers paraded psychologists, branding experts, and social media analysts. They painted their client as a victim of verbal violence. They said Kennedy's words had led to public ridicule, depression, and loss of corporate dignity. When it was Kennedy's turn to speak, he didn't bring an army of lawyers. He walked to the witness stand with only a thin stack of papers, letters from ordinary America.